Let's take a look at this Colts roster because post Julio Jones trade, the Titans and the Colts were both plus 110 favorites to win the division, courtesy of our friends at the PointsBet Sportsbook. The Jaguars and the Texans nudged them to the back. This is Colts and Titans battling it out to win the division, just like last year. Offensive line, Eric Fisher in, Quentin Nelson still there, Ryan Kelly, Mark Lewinsky, Braden Smith. Give me the best way to categorize that position group.
Well, I think like a top 10-ish group in football, certainly in the top half of football, but there's just that one glaring question mark, right? That left tackle spot that's been voided by Anthony Costanzo. Who's it going to be? They did a great job in signing Eric Fisher, but I don't think he's going to be ready to go at the start of the year. At least I wouldn't expect. But man, when you talk about Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly, that's a pretty damn good, center guard combo there. Braden Smith is a good right tackle. So it's one of the better units in football for me. I don't know if it's like the blue wall like we talked about maybe 2-3 years ago when it was really special, but it's still a dominant group.
And it's a huge difference for Carson Wentz. All due respect to the Eagles, it's something he's never enjoyed before. That kind of ability side to side. And you saw the stats up there, the difference between the Eagles' offensive line and the Colts' offensive line last year. That could allow Carson Wentz to, have some time.
Right.
To find receivers, maybe buy some time with his feet if need be. Less pressure, fewer hits, fewer injuries, better performance by Carson Wentz. Receivers, T.Y. Hilton back after a foray into free agency. Michael Pittman, Paris Campbell at receiver as well. Jack Doyle and Mo Alley Cox at tight end. Best way to describe that group.
I mean, solid with the potential to be special. I think that's the way I would kind of look at it. Michael Pittman Jr., we saw some good things from him. Paris Campbell is the guy, the forgotten guy from 2 years ago. He's been battling injuries, but he's got a really exciting, explosive element to his game. I mean, he was a 4-3 guy and a second-round pick, and we've seen a lot of second-round picks, dominate football the last few years. So, to me, it hinges on him. We know T.Y. Hilton and what he is. He's still really good. He's not the star he used to be. Tight end play solid. But I think, yes, this is like a real good middle-of-the-pack group, Mike. I don't know if you see it the same way, where if, like, Paris Campbell comes through, you go, ooh, they could be semi-special and dangerous in what they do.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there was a reason why they were mentioned so early on in the Julio Jones sweepstakes.
Yeah, right.
T.Y. Hilton's been around for 10 years now. And he was available for a while to anyone who would have wanted him. And he's had some great performances. I'm not taking anything away from him. But someone else would have snatched him up, I think, if he was still viewed as one of the top guys in the league. They need Pittman to keep developing. It's, as Matt Casey's telling me, this really isn't scaring anyone when you look at that list of names. And I think that they would benefit if someone would come available. And again, the Julio Jones ship obviously has sailed, and I don't know who else is out there that would just suddenly, whether it's a trade, whether it's a guy who gets cut because he's got a big salary, but I feel like Chris Ballard's got to be thinking, man, it would just be nice to just get one guy, but whether a guy who can take the top off the defense, not that you can just dial up a menu and get a guy like that. But I feel like they're one body away. A good, recognizable name, a proven commodity. I feel like they would use that. Not necessarily a Julio Jones, and I think they were smart to not go get Julio Jones because Chris Ballard recognizes I got to pay this guy at some point. But somebody. Let's say the Rams decide, not that you can't really trust Deshaun Jackson to stay healthy, but
no, but I know what you mean.
I'd feel better about that receiving core if they had Deshaun Jackson, even with his health issue.
That's where I got into like the Paris Campbell conversation. He could be that guy, but this has been something I think you've heard me say over the last year with the Colts. And I think you're bringing it up, and I think it's spot on. They need that difference, one more difference maker on each side of the ball. I think that's a real thing. It's a lot of good. They just need that, one great aspect to get you over the edge to, it's a close football game, and let's not always have to depend on our system and everybody doing the right things. It'd just be nice to have a guy that can make a play and win the damn game for us. That's to me where they miss a little bit on both sides of the ball, and that's where Paris Campbell is going to be big. And you're right. It's something to watch for with their football team. But I do also think if you take into the running game and Nyheim Hines and what he can do in the pass game, it makes that group a little bit better than maybe we want to give it credit for.
Deshaun Jackson has played 8 total games the last 2 years.
Yikes.
Paris Campbell has played 9. 2
That's
years.
scary. Yes.
2 games last year,
Right.
7 games the year before. So, yeah, staying healthy is the key. You mentioned the running backs. Jonathan Taylor ended up being great last year. There was concerns he had too much wear and tear coming out of Wisconsin, where I think he had 11,000 yards in one season and 850 carries. Nyheim Hines, a nice change of pace guy, great acrobat as well. Marlon Mack came back because he had that torn Achilles tendon week 1.
Right.
And it's a shame. It was his contract year, and I know they've had high hopes for him, but that is a hell of a 3-headed attack there. Between Taylor and Mack, and you throw in Hines, you can do some special things out of the backfield, and it does make your receiving core better because defenses have to worry about the guys in the backfield.
There's no doubt. You got to worry about this aspect of their football team with that O-line, and then this guy's a game breaker. I mean, that's what we saw. Is he got comfortable during the year last year. At the end of the season, I mean, he got into one of the best, most explosive running backs in the game. I mean, he can go 70 yards right through the middle of the defense, outrun everybody. So it was good to see him come along. And that's where it's, you're excited for Carson Wentz because you sit here and talk about these things and go, man, Frank Reich, pretty creative system. They got a good O-line. Man, 3 good running backs. Got a little of everything. Wentz doesn't have to do it all by himself. But, man, Mack is similar to Jonathan Taylor to where if he got banged up, you got Marlon Mack to come in. You don't miss a beat there. And Nyheim Hines is, your special jitterbug guy there to where, I think when you take it into totality, you look at that offense and go, it's got a chance to be something. That receiver question I think you bring up is the most prevalent one.
Last year, they made the move to get DeForest Buckner, trading the first-round pick to the 49ers, and then paying Buckner. That's helped transform the defense.
Yeah.
Other than Darius Leonard, and I know you've got a lot of faith in Kwity Paye, a guy that was drafted this year.
Right.
There aren't names that just fly off the page, but the unit altogether, it feels like it's catching up to the offense. This has been an offense-heavy team for a long time. It's skewed toward the offense. That's been their way. The defense seems to be on the verge of becoming more than it's been.
I think so. Buckner was huge for them last year, and for a long period of time, I think he was, in the defensive player of the year conversation. And we saw when he missed 2 games, their defense fell off. But I think him and, like you said, Darius Leonard are the only 2 household names. There's a lot of great depth. They got everything you need from that standpoint and a lot of good. It's just like we've seen, the great defenses have more than just a DeForest Buckner and a Darius Leonard. The great defenses have another 2-3 names you can add to that, right? And that's where the Colts are going to get or need to get to. And that's where, who is it? Who's going to join the list there? Is it somebody in the secondary? I don't know. They're just, but Darius Leonard, we know how awesome he is. They need one more difference maker on that D-line. And we'll see if Kwity Paye can be that guy coming out of Michigan. He is a physical, twitchy, explosive pass rusher. He's kind of he doesn't fit the mold of great pass rushers, Mike. He's that outside linebacker, going to be great at everything. Is he going to go get double-digit sacks every year? I don't know. I got to see it to believe it first. But I think he's going to be a definite good addition to that defense and make some plays and be disruptive nonetheless.
There's a guy in the Colts defense who may be very happy about the arrival of Julio Jones in Tennessee, and that's Xavier Rhodes. Rhodes had a history of shutting down Julio Jones when Rhodes was with the Vikings and Jones was with the Falcons. And last year when the Vikings didn't have Rhodes, Jones torched them. Now they're going to get reunited, and this isn't an A-list cornerback receiver battle at this point.
Right.
But Rhodes is back. Rhodes was so much better last year than he had been in his last few seasons in Minnesota, and I'm looking forward to watching Julio Jones and Xavier Rhodes go at it because I remember seeing them go at it many times from 13, 14 through 2019.
He's got that, like, he's got the physical size and strength to at least match up with a Julio Jones. That's where, like, Julio's just so crazy talented because he's fast like a guy that's much smaller, but has the strength of like a tight end getting off the line of scrimmage. So that's where a guy like Xavier Rhodes is certainly important. And yeah, he was way better last year than the 2 years we saw previous to that to Minnesota. So hopefully that continues. Rock Ya-Sin, pretty damn good. Kenny Moore, one of the better nickel guys in football. Safeties. I love the Julian Blackman guy. I think the way he can run around, fly, he adds great value to their team. But I don't know. To me, it's still that's a little bit of a question mark of a group there to a degree. I just look at that group and just go, okay, it's a big game. It's the Colts or some of these other really not the Colts or the Chiefs or one of these other high-octane AFC offenses. I don't have great confidence in this secondary's ability to play man-to-man. That's been my big question about them for the past 2 years, and something I will continue to sit here and watch and evaluate with them.
We'll see how it plays out for the Colts, though. But Colts, Titans, AFC South, and whoever emerges as the winner of that division, who knows? Maybe a team that can go deep into the postseason in 2021.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.